Hi, let's discuss some more example of analyzing non-recursive algorithm using frequency count method. I already discussed 10 example. Let's discuss example 11. P equals to 0 for I equals to 1, I less than n, I equals to I multiplication 2, P plus plus. There is another for loop for j equals to 1, j less than P, j equals to j multiplication 2 and some statement is given. These two are not nested loop. They are separate for loop but they are dependent. You can mark this j value will run till j value is less than p, and in first for loop p value is incremented. These two for loop are dependent through p variable. Let me analyze this for loop first. I will take two variables, one for I, another for p. In first iteration, I value will be 1 and p value will be 0 due to initialization. In next iteration, I value will be increment as I multiplication 2. So 1 multiplication 2, it will be 2 and p value will be increment by 1. It was 0, now 0 plus 1, it will be 1. So in second iteration, I value will be 2 while p value will be 1. In third iteration, I value will be 2 multiplication 2. 2 multiplication 2, that we can write as 2 power 2, and p value will be 1 plus 1, it will be 2. In third iteration, I value will be 2 square while p value will be 2. In fourth iteration, I value will be 2q and p value will be 3. Like this, it will continue. At k iteration, I value will be 2 power k minus 1 and p value will be k minus 1. You can mark in third iteration power is 2. In fourth iteration power is 3. And p value in third iteration p value is 2. In fourth iteration p value is 3. So at k iteration p value will be k minus 1 while I value will be 2 power k minus 1. Assume that till k iteration it will run, at k plus 1 iteration it will fail. At k plus 1 iteration I value will be 2 power k and p value will be k. So when this 2 power k value will be greater than equals to n, it will fail. 2 power k greater than equals to n means k will be greater than equals to log n. Approximately k value is equivalent to log n. We can write running time as theta of log n. This is for first for loop. Next, I need to analyze the second for loop. I will consider one variable for j and it will run till j value is less than p. In first iteration, j value will be 1. In second iteration, j value will be 1 multiplication 2, it will be 2. In third iteration, it will be 2 multiplication 2, that is 2 square. In fourth iteration, it will be 2 power 3. Like this, at m iteration, it will be 2 power m minus 1. And assume that till m, it will run. At m plus 1 iteration, it will fail. At m plus 1 iteration, j value is 2 power m. So when it will fail, when this 2 power m will be greater than equals to p. Till it is less than equals to p, it will work. When it is greater than equals to p, it will fail. So when 2 power m greater than equals to p, it will fail. What is m value? M value is greater than equals to log p. We can write approximately m equivalent to log p. So here running time will be theta of log p. What is p? When the first for loop exit, at that time p value was k minus 1. Approximately we consider p value equals to k and k equals to log n. So in place of p you can write log n. Running time will be theta of log n. For second for loop, running time is theta of log p, as p equivalents to k and k equivalents to log n. So in place of p you can substitute log n. Running time will be theta of log n. Let's discuss another example, example 12. For I equals to 1, I less than equals to n, I plus plus. For j equals to 1, j less than equals to n, j plus plus, and some statement is given. These two for loop are nested loop and these are incremented by 1. So we can write by using some expression. We can write sum I equals to 1 to n, then sum j equals to 1 to n, 1 due to this statement. Then we can evaluate this summation. N minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 plus 1 will be cancelled, we will get n. So sum I equals to 1 to n. This n is a constant, we can take to left side. So n sum j equals to 1 to n, 1. This after evaluation will get n. Like this, n minus 1 plus 1, upper limit minus lower limit plus 1. Upper limit is n, lower limit is 1. So n minus 1 plus 1. From this we will get n multiplication n will get n square. So running time will be theta of n square. When the for loop is incremented by just 1, we can represent in some expression, and that will be more easier than frequency count method. Let's analyze by using frequency count method. I'll take two variables, one for I, another for j. When I value will be 1, j value can be 1, 2, 3 up to n. So for I equals to 1, the second for loop will run n time. Next for I equals to 2, j value vary n time starting from 1 to n. Like this it will continue. For I value is n, j will run n time. So for every I, j run n time. Means it will start from 1 and run till n. We can multiply n multiplication n square. So running time will be theta of n square. We need to check how many times the basic operation will execute. Here statement is the basic operation, and this statement will execute how many times this for loop will execute. For I1, this for loop will execute n time. For I2, this for loop will execute n time. For In, this for loop will execute n time. So what we can do, we can simply add how many times this j will run. So n plus n plus n time, that we can write as n multiplication n or n square. So running time is theta of n square. Either you can find through summation method, or you can check for each I how many times j run and I runs n time. For each I, j run n time, you can multiply, or simply you can add how many times j run, you will find the running time. Let's discuss next example, example 13. For I equals to 1, I less than equals to n, I plus plus. For j equals to n by 2, j less than equals to n, j plus equals to n by 2. So initially j value is n by 2. Next time it will add with n by 2, means n by 2 plus n by 2, it will be n. So this second for loop is only running 2 times, and this is a independent nested loop. I will take two variables, one for I, another for j. When I value is 1, j value will be n by 2. Then next time it will be n. So j will run 2 times. Next, when I value will be 2, j will again run 2 times. Initially it will be n by 2, next time it will be n. So when I value will be n, j will also run 2 times. So for each I, j run 2 times. We can simply multiply n multiplication 2, that is 2n. 2n running time will be theta of n. We need to find how many times this statement will execute. This is the basic operation. This statement will execute how many times this second for loop will run. And second for loop will run 2 times for every I. So what we can do, you can simply add 2 plus 2 plus 2 up to n time. That we can write as 2 multiplication n or 2n. 2n running time will be theta of n. For each I, j runs 2 times, I runs n time, n multiplication 2n, or simply you can add how many times j run, you will find the running time. Here also you can find how many times j run, you can find the running time. In next lecture, I will discuss some more interesting examples. If this lecture is helpful for you, please like and subscribe. Thank you.